Hi everyone, I am Meredith Abbott. Welcome to Sur La Table. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a classic fried chicken. This recipe is perfect year-round, great for summer picnics, weekend brunches, or suppers with the family, and it's not as hard as you think, so follow along. For the classic fried chicken, you'll need one whole chicken that has been cut into 10 pieces, kosher sea salt, dried sage, dried oregano, 1 egg, baking soda, baking powder, paprika, freshly ground black pepper, all-purpose flour, buttermilk, fresh thyme, and fresh or dried bay leaves, whichever you have on hand. And the first step is we need to marinate our chicken. So we're going to grab some fresh thyme. You need 10 sprigs. I've got most of them already picked already. To pick the thyme, to get it off these great little stems, hold it at the base, the tough kind of woody end, take your fingers and just pinch and pull. That gets most of it off. You just need to roughly chop this, and that is just to open up any flavors and loosen up those essential oils in there. Carefully wipe off. Grab a large baking dish or large bowl, whatever you have on hand, something that's big enough to hold the marinade and all of your chicken. So let's add our roughly chopped thyme. We're going to drop in our bay leaves, salt, pepper, and buttermilk. I like to use a flat whisk for this because it's a flat surface. It'll help mix everything together. Round whisks for round bowls, flat whisks for flat surfaces. Just get it all mixed in. And now we're ready to set the chicken in our marinade. I like to use tongs to keep my hands clean. Carefully set them in. I like to kind of turn as I go just to make sure that they all get coated. This fits perfectly. This is a 9x13 baker. Okay, and now into the refrigerator. Okay, the chicken's nice and cold. It's been marinating for 30 minutes. Now we need to drain it. So grab some tongs, shake off any loose excess marinade before it goes onto the rack. This rack is going to do double duty for us today. We're gonna let the chicken drain for a bit on it, and then after we bread and dip our chicken, we're gonna actually set it onto the wire rack. Now this is a good tip if you're making fried chicken for a crowd. You can get it all breaded before you fry it. If you're just frying a couple pieces for 2 people, once you're done breading, it can go right into the fryer. But for a large crowd, or if you're doing the whole bird, this is a great technique so that you don't have to leave all of your ingredients out on your counter as you're working. So now what we need to do is prep our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients. So grab 2 bowls and do the dry first. All of your flour, more salt. Again, we season through each step. Paprika, dried oregano, dried sage, and our cracked black pepper. Give it a quick whisk. Okay, and now for the wet. Just break it up. I'm going to add in the buttermilk. And now we're going to add in the baking soda and the baking powder. This is going to make the mixture bubble, and this is going to help keep our breading nice and light and airy. So in this goes. Whisk, whisk, whisk. It'll bubble a little bit. I'm just gonna get my dirties out of here, put my whisk away, and then we're gonna bread our chicken. Okay, let's set ourselves up for success here with our breading. This is a little messy, so I like to have everything nice and compact in my workspace. So we're gonna keep one of our hands dry and one of our hands wet. This way you don't end up looking like you have mittens on your hand by the time you're done. So I'm gonna grab the chicken, dip your chicken into the dry, turn it around to coat, shake off any excess, drop it carefully into your wet, switch hands, turn this around, pick it up, let any excess drip off, and back into your dry. Dry hand. I'm gonna pick up some of the flour, turn it over like that, flip it around a few times. You want it to be well coated, so if you need to press the flour into any of those nooks and crannies, feel free. And then set it back onto your wire rack. We're gonna repeat this process until we have now coated all of our chicken. Back and forth, back and forth. This is a good project as an assembly line. If you have helpers in the kitchen with you, you could divide this flour into 2 bowls. So it just kind of goes down the line, but this is how you do it with 1 person. Okay, so I'm on my last piece. You'll see I have 1 very messy hand and 1 semi-clean hand. Let's wash our hands before we start frying. And then we're going to preheat our oil to 350 degrees. Okay, before we get started, we need to do 2 things. 1, turn on your hood vent. Second step is to preheat your oil in a large cast iron skillet or a Dutch oven. 350 degrees is kind of the magic sweet spot when frying chicken. It's not too hot where your breading is gonna burn before the inside of your chicken is cooked, and it's not too low where you're gonna have soggy crust. So 350 is going to yield that perfect golden brown crust, and your chicken will be cooked on the inside. Thermometers. You need a thermometer to know how hot your oil is. I have a candy or frying thermometer style today, and what that means is that there's a clip that holds your thermometer to the outside of your pan. It's nice that I don't have to keep dipping a thermometer in the oil every time I want to check the temperature. So we're at 300 degrees, 352, which is okay. I'm gonna start carefully placing my chicken into the oil. I'm going to carefully set it in. You'll see it's nice and bubbly. And when you release it, you don't want to drop the chicken. You want to set the chicken in the oil and set it away from you so that if there is any splashing, it doesn't splash on you, it goes on your backsplash. So I'm going to take a couple pieces here, carefully placing them in. I think I have space for 1 more. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. There we go. You're gonna leave these to fry undisturbed. They're completely submerged, so you don't have to worry about flipping at this point. My oil has dropped down to about 320 degrees because I put cold chicken into it. That's okay. I'm going to leave my heat at high until that comes back up to 350. So you're gonna wanna watch your oil. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. Now's the time when we want to start checking our chicken. So I'm going to take clean tongs, get my thermometer ready. This is an instant read digital thermometer. It is great for tasks like this. I'm going to grab 1 of my pieces of chicken, start with the one that's closest to me. I'm going to let a little bit of the excess oil drip off, insert my digital thermometer into the thickest part of that chicken, not touching one of the bones. And we're looking for about 160 degrees. I'm gonna let this one go back in. It's at 150 degrees. For a visual cue, for you to know when to start taking the temperature, you're gonna look for your chicken to be a deep golden brown. I've taken the temperature of my chicken now. They're at least 165 degrees, so I'm going to carefully remove them from the oil onto a clean wire rack. This is great because any excess oil will drip off. So turn off the heat once you're done frying and grab these out onto here. And while they're still hot is when we want to do 1 final seasoning with some salt. I have some flaky sea salt here. It's a nice finishing salt. You can just use kosher salts. If that's what you have at home, that is fine. And there you go, homemade classic fried chicken. Enjoy. For recipe videos, cooking classes, and more, visit surlatab.com.